My God, that was so scary. Oh my God, that was so scary. My heart is racing. Oh my God. So thankful I didn't even realize what was happening. The forecast for this trip is rain, thunderstorms, and scattered showers. But we're gonna have a good time. I just set off. We're heading down this small creek here to get to the first lake in the wilderness. This stream has had a few shallow spots where I've gotten out to walk my canoe through. You can tell on some of these rocks where canoes scratch on them often. When I see that, I like to just get out of the canoe and walk it rather than scratch up my nice beloved canoe. But now I'm about to get back in the canoe and we are onto big water right up there. Not really big water, but a lake, not a stream. The lake is a little bit windy, so I'm gonna have to paddle. It's not that windy for a two-person paddling job, but one person in a canoe that's very large. My canoe is also meant to hold weight. Since I don't have a lot of weight in my canoe, I'm sitting up out of the water quite a bit in this canoe, and the wind just catches me and blows me sideways. So this is gonna be a tough little baby paddle. I'm not going too far today. I'm gonna take one of the first campsites if they're available, because it is supposed to thunderstorm today. I don't know when that's gonna start. Right now it's a clear blue sky, but storms can roll in really fast and I just don't wanna be caught paddling or without a campsite. So I'm just gonna snag a campsite, paddle some more in Portage tomorrow, depending on weather. I'm really at the mercy of Mother Nature, as always. I should stay close to this shore. I'm gonna stay close to that shore, actually. I always try to stay close to shore. I feel like I say this in every video, but I try to stay close to shore, especially when I'm alone, so that if something does happen, you can just swim over to shore quickly. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. After I unloaded my stuff and brought my stuff up to the top of this campsite hill, I actually went back down to the water and paddled my canoe around the edge because I saw there's a better canoe landing spot over there. And I am thrilled that I chose the first campsite because the wind is getting windier and windier. They're like, it really doesn't look windy, I know, in the camera, but it's getting windy. The canoe is not easy to paddle in wind by myself. So I stowed my canoe over there. I didn't film that because it was like crazy gusty when I was doing that, and I didn't want to go flying around the lake. Now I'm gonna decide where I want to put my tent. It looks really pretty over here. Oh, this is gorgeous. I would love to put my tent right here, but it looks like we've got a dead tree there and a dead tree there. I'm not about to set up my tent near a dead tree when we're supposed to have a thunderstorm tonight. Look at this little tree. Maybe I'll set up my tent pad over here in the grass. There's a dead tree. Huh. Probably right here. That's probably where I'm gonna go. So I just attempted to set up my rain tarp, and this was my first time setting up this rain tarp, this specific rain tarp by myself, and it's really, really big. And I found out that when it's windy like this and gusty, it's nearly impossible to set up this rain tarp by myself. I was getting frustrated, and honestly I was probably pretty close to getting it, but I decided I didn't care if I have a rain tarp. I can sit out in the rain if it rains. Hopefully I don't regret this decision, but I'm just gonna pack up this rain tarp and give up on it, because it is so hard to hold on to it and try to tie it down in this wind. It is super warm, like super duper warm today. I feel just like overheated right now. So I'm looking forward to a nice swim in the lake. I'm gonna go right now. Look at how beautiful it is here. I'm about ready to go swimming, but before I go swimming, I am gonna go use the bathroom. So I thought I'd bring you with to find it, but I already found it. It's not very far from camp. Looks like kind of an odd trail. Walk right up here, I guess. There she is. The water is so cold. It's actually not that cold, but the wind and being wet and the kind of chilly water, definitely don't feel overheated anymore. I'm kind of hungry now. I brought pizza rolls again, so I'll probably have that for dinner. I did bring a fishing pole. I brought a fishing pole this trip, so I kind of want to fish. I bought a new fishing pole. It's perfect, I think. I haven't used it yet. And I brought one type of lure, so hopefully the fish like it. I'm not a super avid fisher woman, but I've been fishing a bajillion times. I just never have gotten into it or learned about what jigs are for what fish or what anything. I just copy whoever I'm fishing with. This campsite is a wonderful blueberry campsite, so it'd be nice to come back during blueberry season. It's just too early in the year right now. But the flowers are gorgeous. And this campsite is open, and the wind is blowing right through the campsite. So it's windy, yes, but that means that there aren't really any bugs. When I opened my food bag, I saw that my little container of fresh fruit, my raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries that I packed, had leaked berry juice all over the stuff in my food pack. I packed these berries because I wanted to do berry pancakes in the morning, but I don't want to keep making a mess with them. I should have had a different container to put the fruit in. So I'm just gonna eat the berries now and just have regular plain pancakes in the morning. I love how warm it is. I've been getting some horsefly bites out here today, but no mosquito bites. They're very itchy and I react very strongly to them. I get huge welts, but you'll have that. I don't mind a little bit of bugs, especially for this trade-off. Sometimes when it's really hot out like this and just kind of muggy, I don't feel like eating anything. And I think fish are the same way. And that's why I didn't catch any fish. This dress I'm wearing is special to me because my friend who did the Peace Corps in the Gambia actually had this dress made by a nice lady in the Gambia specifically for me. So it's like my own personal dress made for me. I don't know, I just think that's cool and special. And honestly, wearing a dress while camping in the heat is amazing. My original plan was to camp here tonight and then move to a different campsite on a different lake for tomorrow. But I'm tempted to stay here because I'm in love with this spot. With people saying that the bugs are really bad, having a spot with this kind of breeze is amazing. It's got good swimming. This site has a good fireplace pit if it ever stops being windy. I think it's just pretty. And I'm on a small lake, so since I'm by myself, that's a huge plus. I don't want to go onto a big lake. Maybe I'll go check out another lake, but I will probably just come back and camp here again because I really like this campsite. My water bottle with my water in it from home that I just finished has been warm since I got here. So I'm excited to have cold, fresh lake water. I fell asleep for a little bit in the hammock and now I'm just reading again. I think I might try fishing in a little bit. Fishing is supposed to be good at sunrise and sunset, and the sun is beginning to work its way towards the horizon. If I want to have a campfire tonight, I need to chop some wood, but it's still pretty windy, so I don't think that's
something I'm gonna do. It feels so nice to just relax and read and fish, eat snacks. I think all of us could use a little bit more of wilderness therapy. The weather has started to calm down. The wind has actually died down a ton, so I might be able to have a campfire tonight. We are going to go look for dead and down firewood to cut up and have just in case. I put some warmer clothes on, not because it's cold, but because I needed to cover my poor skin from the sun. Now I'm getting mosquito bites. Maybe I will need a fire. I really wanted to catch a fish today. That didn't happen, but that's okay. Tomorrow, hopefully the water's a little more calm and I can take a canoe out and go try to catch a fish on the water. I got an amazing campsite. I got to relax a lot. I might get to have a campfire tonight and roast some marshmallows. It's finally calm outside, and it's completely still. Not a draft of wind. And I just saw a fish jump in the water about the same time I got a mosquito bite on my forehead. So I'm gonna try again with this whole Jody the fisherwoman thing. I think I got a fish. Oh man. I lost it.
A beaver just swam past. My God, that was so scary. Oh my God, that was so scary. My heart is racing. Oh my God. So thankful I didn't even realize what was happening. But a moose and her baby just walked right through my camp. And I'm like shaking, and down the path to my bathroom, like to the latrine. The moose is like by my latrine right now. I'm like not really afraid of bears. I mean, I have like a healthy fear of bears, but I don't like stress about them. I was like in my tent. I just woke up right now, but I don't like stress about bears, but I stress about moose because like a moose will like charge you, especially with a baby. I'm so shook up right now. She has a baby, like a little baby. So here's a recap of what happened. I put my hood up. The bugs are killer right now. So I was still in my tent. I've been waking up and falling back asleep and waking up and falling back asleep all morning. I slept like a baby last night, and I was just kind of sleeping in, right? I have no idea what time it is right now. I didn't even look. But I woke up again, and I didn't realize like why I woke up. I thought I was just re-waking up again. But then it registered that I was like hearing something, and there was something big in my camp. I could hear it, and it walked from that side right in front of my tent and then went that way, and I could see kind of the shadow out of my tent. I didn't have my window thing open, so I was kind of frozen because it was right by my tent, and I was looking around, and I grabbed my bear spray, and as soon as I had my bear spray, I said, "Whoa bear, whoa bear, whoa bear," really loud, because I just wanted to let whatever it was know that I was there. I don't want to spook an animal, and I was like nervous because I'm by myself, and it just kind of gets your heart pumping. And then I opened my screen flap thing to look out my tent window, and I don't see anything. And I thought, well, that's weird. If there was a bear, it would probably be like in the kitchen, right? I don't have any food out here. My food is hanging in a tree. But I thought like it would smell stuff in the kitchen, right? Because I don't have any food, anything, any scented stuff in my tent. There's like my kitchen sink out here that might smell like food or something from washing my dishes, or my fishing bait, but I didn't see it. So then I open up my tent and I look down the path to my portage, which is right over there next to my tent, and I see a mama moose and her baby, and I was like, shh. Because a mama moose with a baby moose is like, that's scary. I was very close. I was probably like 15-20 feet away from this mama moose, but like, and her baby was between us. So I just stood there frozen because I don't think moose can see very well, so I just didn't move a muscle. And then they started walking, and they just kept going down the path. So I stood there for a while, and I was just like shaking. But yeah, so they walked right through here. I think they came on this little path here, went right by my tent, and I don't know how they didn't step on my paddles. I didn't hear them step on my paddles. And then down this portage path. And the latrine is like right there. Not a portage path, latrine path. I can't even talk. Okay, I'm gonna chill out, make some breakfast. That's the story of the morning. Very cool. Very, very cool. Wow, cool. So far it hasn't rained at all, which is amazing for me. But it does feel pretty humid, so I bet it rains a little bit today. I still haven't caught a fish either. I really would like to catch a fish. That's probably my biggest goal today, is to catch myself a fish. Feels so good to be clean and fresh right away in the morning. Whenever I'm camping, I usually bathe in the morning. I don't go in the lake to bathe. I have a natural soap that I use, and I just bathe using my kitchen sink. If I don't have a kitchen sink, before I had my kitchen sink, I would just use like a pot of water, maybe like a gallon of water. And I use a rag, and I wet the rag, and I get myself wet, away from the shoreline, away from the water, and get the soap on me. And then I try to stand over the bucket, over the bowl thing as much as possible to kind of recycle water a little bit. And I take my mug, my coffee mug usually, fill it with the water, and then like pour that on myself to rinse myself off. Usually works pretty well. This baby tree right here is a pine, and the way to tell what kind of pine it is, typically they're red pine, jack pine, white pine. In this area, maybe some Norway pines. But if you pluck the needles, a little bunch, they're like connected as a bunch on the branch of the tree. And this one has 5 needles in a bunch, if you can see them well. There's 5 needles there in one bunch. That means it's a white pine. You can remember it because white has 5 letters. White pines have 5 needles to a bunch. This t-shirt that I have here actually shows the difference, with white pine having 5 needles. A red pine has 2 needles. A tamarack is really cool. A tamarack has like little bunches of needles. Balsam fir have needles that grow on the sides of the little tiny stems, whereas a spruce would have needles on all sides of the stem. A sugar maple, northern red oak, birch, poplar tree. Poplar and aspen trees are actually the same thing. They're 2 different names for a tree. And then cedar, which are obviously just cool in their own way. I had a fish on, finally. Now I've got some kind of knot here. I plan on fishing again tonight and trying to get that fish, but I'm about to call it. Wow. So nice. The fresh lake water is cold, but not bitterly cold, refreshingly cold. The temperature today, I would guess, is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. This campsite's really cool because it has so many flowers and plants and grasses. I just dried off from my last swim and now I'm already so hot again. It's super hot. I bet it's 90 degrees now. It just keeps getting warmer and warmer. So I'm gonna go back in the water and cool off. Oh, it just feels so good. Amazing. Feels so good to be in the water. Staying hydrated in this heat is kind of a chore. My thirst is insatiable. I have found that another use for my camp towel, pack towel, is to be used as a blanket in the hammock, but not a blanket because I'm cold. A blanket to keep the black flies off of my legs without having to wear pants. I don't know if you can tell, but the sky is like a darker shade of blue over there. Looks like some rain coming our way. But I think I'll just stay here at camp today. Go fishing, relax. Enjoy this wonderful campsite that I lucked out with. The mosquitoes have really woken up. I'm getting eaten alive as I clean up camp here before the rain. Isn't it supposed to be good fishing right before it rains? Surprisingly, it looks like the clouds are starting to break up and lighten up. They're like spreading out. So maybe we won't get rain. We'll see. The fishing didn't go well. I didn't catch anything. I think I'm gonna lay in the hammock. I would go in the tent and read, but it's still pretty hot and the hammock is a little bit cooler. We are going to catch a fish. I'm still thinking about that moose I saw this morning in camp and the baby. The baby was very small, smaller than I would expect this late in June, but I guess I don't really know a lot about moose reproduction. But it was little, just a little baby. My canoe fishing attempt, not super successful. Didn't even feel a bite, but I did enjoy getting out on the water today, paddling around, seeing the lake from the canoe rather than from my campsite for a little bit. Typically when I go fishing, it's not my idea to go fishing. Somebody else has asked me to go with, and I'm always up for an adventure. But this time, it's just me, and going fishing by yourself, it's not quite as fun, because even if I did catch a fish or when I get a bite, there's nobody there to like make fun of me for not catching it or be excited with me for catching it. B, it's kind of hard because I've never actually paid attention when I was fishing to what we're fishing for. Like if you're fishing for this kind of fish, use this kind of bait. If you're using this kind of bait, you troll or you use a bobber or whatever. I honestly don't even know what kind of fish are in this lake.
Chicken in little pouches like this are one of my favorite things to bring camping. Also, tuna is good too. Tuna in packages like this you can put on a sandwich during the day. Bring mayo packets. You can have like a tuna sandwich. I'm gonna add this to a fettuccine pasta. I also brought hot sauce. And I also have a new black fly bite on my hand. It's right here. So this knuckle is like numb. I just react really poorly to black fly bites, and it's like super swollen. I haven't seen or heard a beaver all day today, which seems kind of odd because yesterday I was seeing them and hearing them all day. It's my favorite this time of night when the lake becomes still and calm and everything seems to start to go to rest. The sun is setting, so the lighting is pretty. The only thing not going to rest are all the bugs. Honestly though, the bugs have been mean to me. I have a like completely swollen hand now from that black fly bite. The fish are jumping. I'm gonna have to fish soon. But the bugs have been kind of rude to me. I have bites everywhere. But I think it's not as bad as I expected for this trip. I expected it to be much worse. So I just realized, I just noticed this, I haven't noticed this all day, that the dirt at my campsite, it was like dug up, but it's like dug up over here, this dirt. So I don't know if they came out of the water or what. And there's digging here and digging here. And what, this was like dug up and it's fresh. And down there too. So maybe something came up out of the water here. Look at this in the water. I don't know if you can see them. There's one over there. Right in there. There's some here. They're like little ping pong ball looking things. They must be some kind of egg. I'm assuming there's some over there. There's two over there. I don't know if you can tell. So I honestly have no idea. They look like eggs. I'm assuming they've got to be eggs. But I don't know what kind of eggs. And I also don't know if that was the same thing that kind of tore up the ground here for some reason. Or if, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So let me know in the comments if you have any idea what kind of eggs those were. Also, if you've had any kind of moose experience in the wild or any kind of just cool moose experiences in your life, tell us about your story in the comments of this video. But this trip truly has been just incredible. It was supposed to rain the whole time. It was supposed to be thunderstorms, scattered showers, rain. So far it hasn't rained at all. It might rain tonight. The sky looks hazy. It's definitely a possibility. I'm super thankful that I'm able to make these videos and take you along with me. I know that there are people who don't access these wilderness places due to disability or fear or lack of the necessary know-how or just age. I guess when you love something or some place so much or an experience, you just want to share it, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. The bugs are horrible right now. They're coming out like crazy. So I'm just gonna take down my hammock, pack it up, get my stuff put together, and probably hide in the tent. The fire seems to be keeping the bugs away just a little bit, so I'm gonna stay outside. My hand has continued to swell outwardly, but not up. So I think it'll be just fine. That's a moose. I did not sleep really at all, maybe like an hour total. Right now the water is super calm. It's still raining. I don't know that it's gonna stop. It looks like it might be an all-day affair. And since the water's calm, I'm gonna try and pack up quick and start paddling. Everything is soaking wet. The inside of my tent got wet too. This is the first time that the inside of this tent has got this wet. But it just rained for hours and hours and hours, and I was like touching the inside of the tent a lot. So I think that's why. But yeah, I've used this tent in the rain lots of times, and I've never had just water pooling on the ground, and it's like coming down the seams. So I don't know if I need to waterproof it with the waterproofing spray. My original thought was to make myself a cup of coffee before departing this lovely campsite that I've called home. But the bugs are just attacking right now worse than they have this whole entire time. So I'm booking it out of here. There goes my campsite. Paddling out of this lake, I am thinking about winter and what this lake would look like in the winter. I don't know that I'd come to this lake in the winter because the stream that you have to take to get here probably doesn't freeze well. Streams moving water doesn't freeze well. But I'm still imagining the snow-covered treetops, the dead silence of winter. It's crazy that I'm already romanticizing about winter. But I guess that's what you do as a Minnesotan. You dream about the next seasons while you enjoy the current season. Okay. I'm not catching anything. Just snags.